All right.
Yeah.
And we're back.
Hey. All right.
Hey.
Oh, and up she rises.
Hey.
All right. Are we pouring?
Are you recording? It's recording now.
And we're back.
Yeah, and we're back. All right. I guess kick this off. All right. So this is the Side Brew Crew beer review tasting thing. So welcome to anyone who's watching. I'm Brandon, and then we got Franz Solo over there, and then of course Stoutmeister.
Yep.
Hello.
So
There you go.
since we all are on quarantine, of course, as the rest of you also are, hopefully are staying safe, we're still going to keep doing the thing that we do, which is tasting beers and talking about beers. So tonight we're going to be doing the Czar of Aberdeen, which is our collaboration beer that we did with Red Door Brewing Company. So each of us have our respective growlers, and yes, we're going to open those, give it a pour, and see what this bad boy tastes like. So, guys, what do you got to say?
I mean, it's an honor to get to do collabs, and super cool of Red Door and the Mats for letting us make this ridiculousness happen. It was thought up while I was doing their Look Back, Look Ahead article. And I don't know, we just decided we were going to do two things at once. So Scotch Ale and Baltic Porter. The match done was the fullest we've ever had. So overflowing. Hey, too evil.
Too evil.
Too evil. All right. Ooh.
That tastes like cake.
Ooh.
Yeah, a little sweet up front, big roast on the back.
Smooth.
Yeah, dangerously smooth.
Not as immediately malty as you would normally get from just a regular wee heavy or Scottish ale. But yeah, it's definitely got that underlying sweetness to cut through, and then it kicks like a porter right after that.
Yep, that it does.
Like the cold waters of the Baltic.
All right, Franz, you already covered how this one came about. All right, so let's talk about while we're sipping on this. How do our beers come about? We've done a couple of collaborations over the course of time that the Side Brew Crew has existed. So how do we usually come up with these? I've had people ask me that, and the answers vary.
Yeah, I mean, inspiration strikes late at night, exhaustion, drinking a lot.
Yeah, sometimes brewers will talk to us first about, hey, would you guys like to do something? Or sometimes we go to them, hey, would you like to do something? And sometimes we have a great idea right off the bat, and other times it's sort of a,
what the hell do you want to do? Yeah.
What was it? Tractor? It was
yeah.
What haven't you guys actually done, because you think you've done everything at that point?
Yeah, and they had.
Yeah, Tractor had been around for a while, and then I think I don't remember how that one came about, but yeah, as soon as the idea of a porter was presented, I know I was right on board, because that's one of my favorite and really underrated styles. And yeah, the Baltic Porter just came out phenomenal.
Yeah, good old vulgar display of porter.
Yes.
The
names of our beers, I've had people who talk to about the website. I've had readers and just people in general ask how we come up with the names, and that in itself is a whole
A whole other can of worms.
Yeah, that's something completely different.
Yeah. I mean, it's like the name of the site was me at 2 a.m. with Eric in our friend's backyard on New Year's, and the fire was dying.
Yeah.
I think we tore up a phone book and threw it in the fire pit.
Sounds about right.
And I just stared into the night sky and said, "Hey, dark side brew crew, Eric, what do you think?" And he, yeah.
Yeah.
And that was while drinking a smoked porter, actually, from Tractor. Way back.
But this is also a little bit smoked. I'm definitely getting some of those notes as it is warming a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of at the back, it helps kind of dry it out more than I would have necessarily expected. But give it a grain bill.
Yeah, and it's not like a peaty smoked. It's just like a nice like roasted like smoked malt character that it has to it.
I don't remember which one we used, but yeah, I think it was Vireman. I'd have to look, but yeah, not overpowering. And we weren't going for a Rauch beer by any means.
No. So for anyone who's not familiar with what we did here, this was like a kind of mashup between like a Scottish ale and like wee heavy Scottish and Baltic Porter. So if you're familiar with either of those styles, you kind of get an idea as to what the malt or the grain bill probably looked like on this one here. So I'm pretty happy with the way this came out.
Yeah. I mean, thinking back, I mean, it just seems like a crazy idea. And well, no, this is kind of the best of both worlds. It definitely drinks like a Scotch. You definitely get those Scotch notes, but it's definitely a porter with the bitter roast and that sort of burly alcohol and a little bit of booziness. So, but it's smooth from being lagered and lager yeast. So interesting hybrid.
This is what we would call dark side brew crew sessionable. What is it? 8%?
Yeah.
Clock in?
Yeah, 8%. Yeah, happy beer.
Mm-hmm.
Yay. We're just happy to be still able to go out and get beer, and support the breweries.
May have sanitized my growler a bit when I got it home, but can't be too careful these days.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, it's like go get beer, come home, wash hands,
alcohol wipes, etc., etc. It's insane.
I mean,
brewers and brewing is already like such a neat freak kind of industry that we're no strangers to it, but this just ups the ante a bit.
Yes. Yeah. So I'm trying to think, what was our history of collabs? Was the first one we did, was that Obey the Dark Side at Chama?
That was, I believe. Yeah, I think that was the very first one we did. And that was back when Chama was still up and running, rest in peace. And Zach, who's now over at Canteen, was the head brewer, and he invited us over there, had that recipe in mind, and I still remember that was a fun day. I think at that point that was the first time that we had we'd been around brewing, but I think that was the first time that we'd probably seen in person what it took to max out a mash tun. Because I remember that just being ridiculously big too.
It got clogged, and then poor David Facey had to reach down in, and he's like, I almost got it, damn it, and he had to keep going. And then the warts go into the glove, and got a nice little burn out of that one. Sorry, David. Yeah. Thank you for that.
Yep, thanks for that.
Dedication to that beer. Great. That was the very first one that we did, Chama River. That one was a lot of fun. What came after that? What was our first? Because I want to say that one was Zach's. I think that was all Zach's recipe, and he kind of invited us to come brew on that. Possibly.
Vulgar Display was I think our first full batch, full run And then we also had done the Baltic over at Canteen, although I can't remember the name off the top of my head.
That's
Because
right.
we had both on at the same time.
Yeah, that was a Dark Side Baltic Porter. Is just what.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah, with Brady.
There you go.
And then
that was so much fun. And then we did Russian Imperial Stout with Rio Bravo.
right.
Oh yeah.
I think it was
That
the only
one was
time we ever had
outstanding.
like, the original 5 minus John together.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that was
Pictures of us all up on the catwalk up there.
Yep.
Yeah, that was
that was a rarity.
the last. Yeah.
It's a unicorn moment. That many brew crew in one place at one time. Ah!
So then after that we had Obey Redux all at Canteen since Zach moved over there. Then Raining Blood, also with Red Door. That was our double red. And then the Winchester, and then this.
Yeah. Bless the Winchester.
So, bless
yeah.
the Winchester.
We're this close
Yeah.
to running a World Beer Cup.
That was
alas.
thanks COVID-19.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we
well.
did have the second Obey, I remember, did go to JBF, and so did Raining Blood.
Raining Blood did too.
Yep.
It was the best selling. I mean, because you can't sell at JBF for those who've never been. It's just samples. But more people requested Raining Blood as their sample at Red Door's spot than any other beer. So
Really,
which is crazy.
I knew that.
Well, it's also GABF, so you also have to figure there's a lot of people who are like, "What's your biggest beer?"
Yep, and it was 9%. So yeah.
Yeah. That was a beastly beer.
One. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very tasty one.
Winchester
would have been nice.
Yeah, Winchester would have been great, but it'll come back. There'll be other chances, other opportunities. So just enjoy what we have. I mean, we got a few couple crowlers out of that, so enjoy that again after it's been off tap for a month ish.
At least, yeah.
Yeah, sounds about right. And thank you to everyone out there who for your kind words about the beer. I talked to a lot of people.
Seriously.
And we appreciate it. Thanks to the guys at Quarter Celtic for having us over to do that beer. That was a lot of fun, and it was a really delicious beer.
Yeah,
yeah, it turned out better than they could have hoped, really.
Yeah.
And the Winchester would have been a great beer to drink right now while we're waiting for all this to blow over, but what are you going to do?
Yeah, there's still 2 crowlers left.
I got one in the fridge out back, so.
Okay.
I just had mine last night or the night before, and it was just one.
It held up.
Yeah.
It held up. Really nice.
Very much.
So what are we,
kind of what? Huh?
I was just gonna say, what are some beers we might like to do in the future? I know it's a little hard to predict. We don't know how far out that's going to be, but
that's a great question.
I mean, we haven't covered that many styles, so we got plenty of a palette to go through. Wouldn't mind doing some Belgians, lager, couple lagers, really. I mean, love good German style beers.
Absolutely.
Kind of an Abbey style or two wouldn't be bad either. IPA, we haven't done an IPA.
Everyone's always expected to do a black IPA. Now we could do one, and it would black IPA would actually be like rare these days.
Oh yeah, novelty. But on the other hand, that ship, at least in my opinion, is kind of sailed. It might come back around again.
Yeah.
It's kind of a people just kind of lost their taste for it. I mean, trends in craft beer, obviously, we all know they're just kind of weird.
Pretty finicky.
Black IPA is one of those things that never just. I feel like it was kind of polarizing. It's and I think it's still polarizing for a lot of people. I talk to people who are like, "Oh yeah, I appreciate that style," or they just hate it.
Yeah.
So
It's just funny though, because you think about Cholo Stout at Marble. it's basically almost like a black IPA, but the
Yeah,
brand
Marketing has something to do with this too. So, you know, yeah.
Marble's
and
marketing.
it's a delicious beer.
Anyway,
Yeah, that one's a fantastic group. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we could do a hoppy stout at some point, but I don't know. Be nice to do something just totally kind of out of our wheelhouse that we've done at least on a big scale. I mean, I know I've just about covered all those other styles I mentioned
yeah,
on the home level.
Yeah, I mean, you've been doing a lot of you ventured out into some really off the wall shit.
Just
Which
a bit.
okay, what is let's talk about that. What you've done recently? So Savage Henry is on its third, fourth incarnation now?
Fifth or sixth actually, since the original. Because when I did it the first time, it was just one of the kits, Brewer's Best, and then I bought I don't know how many ounces of like Galaxy and etc. Nelson Sauvin, but anyway, this current one, it's ridiculous how many hops I put into that beer, like just completely ridiculous. Had to use a cheesecloth just to keep the thing from clogging because kind of got tired of dealing with that, and then losing all that liquid. So
Right.
I think that one has over like a pound of hops, 11 different varieties, including dry hop.
That's a lot
so,
of homebrew batch.
Yeah. I mean, and I keep up with kind of current thinking and reading on hop utilization, and I know that over a certain point you're really diminishing returns and whatnot, but I have a bunch on hand that I need to use up, so at least I'll do probably one more like this where I'm just going over hell-bent for leather, throwing every hop I've got at it. But after that, like refining, I mean, the process has definitely changed. I used to do a lot more earlier editions. Now I do like 2 90-minute editions of 5 ounces roughly, and then everything else is 5 minutes. That's that, and then dry hop. I don't need a 20. I don't, and I actually have applied that to lagers and other styles with pretty good success too. So just kind of taking the best of both worlds, like the old school IPA and the newer hazy, and just mashing them up, and it seems to work pretty well. Another week and a half, and then that one will be ready. Other crazy ones, well, kind of ventured into using adjuncts and additives, just out of curiosity and kind of fun. Did a rice and corn lager that turned out quite nicely, and just kind of currently, given how difficult it is to get out and buy ingredients, I'm going to do at least a couple more like that, where throwing a little rice, a little cornmeal, doing a cereal mash, and see what happens. Seems to work pretty great, and sugar in the end. The other insane one was, of course, Vincent Black Shadow.
Yes.
And that one broke the bank.
that was so good though.
Yeah, it's insane. And actually, like, so interestingly enough, I ended up adding a lot more sugar than I anticipated because I collected way more wort. Just kind of didn't have that dialed in for that batch. I was doing too many things at once. But it turns out, in reading the book by Stan Hieronymus on Abbey beers, turns out adding sugar, especially when you have a good strong yeast, which I had a huge starter, and a good strong bit of malt, you can end up making it a lot more digestible, drinkable. So the drinkability is through the roof. It's 16% alcohol. I mean, you would kind of think that this is going to, fill you up like a heavy dessert, but no, not really.
Yep, that was a good
It
one.
was kind of a deceptive beer. I remember that.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. Yeah. Have a lot more left. Can't wait to see how that ages 2, 3, 5 years.
Yeah.
All right. Go back to this
So,
beer real quick.
Yeah.
Now that it's opened up.
Mhm.
It's opened up a lot more, actually, of course. But I don't know if it's just warm at my place, but
Definitely getting the
little bits of dried fruit in the middle too.
lager character on the nose. Definitely get the smoked malt there and a bit of roast.
Yeah, definitely comes through a lot more now that it's opened up.
Some toffee. Yeah, caramelized sugar.
Really hits you about mid palate.
Yeah.
Big like arc as it goes through.
Yeah. Yeah, it's got an interesting mouthfeel. Like it's kind of easy on the front, back, and in the middle is where it kicks, which is kind of odd. I don't know. Usually things kick either right at the front or right at the back.
Definitely does dry out at the end. A little bit more alcohol than you would think with a 8%, but it just like shows through a little bit more at the end. I don't necessarily think that's what's drying it out or anything like that. It's not in an unpleasant way. It's just like a nice. It's like a chewy kind of dryness, if anything.
Yeah, so it's kind of like chewing on an oatmeal bar or something like that. That's what it makes me think of.
Yeah, that's a good analogy.
Yeah, it has a hell of a lot of character on the nose that doesn't necessarily translate the way you might think when you're tasting it. Because I get a lot more sort of just thick and chewy sweetness on the palate when it sort of suggests more of a bitter and a burly Scotch Ale on the nose. So I don't know. Yeah, it's a very, very interesting hybrid. Cool to get to do stuff like this when, it seems like a crackpot idea.
Yeah, thank you, Matt.
Yes, thank you, Matt. Thank you.
Yeah,
almost
big cheers to Matt over at Red Door for allowing us to
cheers,
create
Red
this.
Door.
Yeah, thank you, Red Door, as a whole. Great. Yeah. Again, really happy with how this came out, actually.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, people out there watching too, definitely let us know, like on Facebook or Instagram, because with the uncertainty of what we'll all be doing, we need stuff to write about and maybe do more of these video,
Yeah,
Zoom
we certainly can.
Stuff. Yeah, so give us ideas, give us your feedback as to what you might want to see us talk about in the future. I'm sure we'll be happy to jump on one of these and act silly like we normally do and talk about beer. It's kind of our thing.
Yeah. After we don't have any metal shows to go to right now, and we don't have any hockey to watch.
Yeah. Apart from video games and books and working out at home if you have equipment, or even if you don't.
Frequently checking.
I just ordered.
It's closed.
I ordered 3 video game systems in the last 48 hours. So
you're good. Yeah, I'm well covered myself.
God, I wish I knew where the Blades of Steel was.
Well, I actually still
Blades
have my original Nintendo on hand with a working Game Genie, mind you.
Oh, Game Genie, nice.
Yeah.
And now if we're gonna go old school like that, if any of you out there remember, if you guys remember the Power Glove from the original Nintendo.
Yeah.
Oh, that thing was awesome. It was just. It seemed kind of gimmicky in retrospect, but it was just the coolest thing in the world back then.
Oh, it was the most awesome thing. Whether or not it worked well, which it didn't. But
the gun. Remember the gun for Duck Hunt?
Oh yeah, the duck hunt gun.
so
Yeah,
bad.
yeah, that was
Oh.
terrible.
A week.
Doesn't matter. It was
Yeah.
so cool being able to, first shoot 'em up game, and then we got arcade games, and now all this is ubiquitous. So
I still got a FIFA for PlayStation 2.
oh, damn.
That's fun trying to get those guys to move. You're like,
I still have my PlayStation from my original PlayStation with one of the early incarnations, or one of that era's incarnations of NHL, which playing that on it is, oh man. I think I knocked out Chris Chelios on it, so it made me feel pretty good.
yeah, anytime you could knock out one of the 90s Red Wings, that was a good thing.
Mhm.
Yes.
Ugh. The
Yeah,
90s
that's,
Sorry to any Red Wings fans, not really, but
this drinks like a lager. This totally drinks like a lager.
Yep.
But then it has that nice bit of sort of roasty astringency that you get from the dark malts, and but then that's balanced. Like it's not overly. It's not like an Irish dry stout, which that's kind of the signature character. There's a little bit there, but just kind of adds the complexity. Yeah, I don't know what the hell kind of style this is.
It's some sort of
Dark concoction.
weird mutant hybrid, too weird to live, too rare to die. So it fits well for us.
Beers for sure. Beers for sure.
Yep.
Yes.
Here's Justin.
Yeah, one of God's own prototypes.
Almost black lager-ish.
Yeah.
Almost like slightly black lager-ish, just because of that yeast, but all that roast. But it's got enough of that sweetness from the, and it's a pretty complex sweetness that cuts through that roastiness that we get from those big burley malts.
Yeah, it's got a better mouthfeel though. You get a lot of dark lagers, and I think because our brains are trained, we see the dark, we see stout, we think it's what we're getting, and you drink it, and it's like, no, it's too thin. And this is just right on the mouthfeel.
Yeah, so the grains we use, just to kind of go through it, Golden Promise, Vienna, Munich, Pale Chocolate, Black Patent, Special B, Victory, C120, C60, and we did use peated smoked malt.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know. Are you going through the list right now on the recipe?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. I was actually going to ask you to grab that before we jumped on here, so thank you for that. Yeah, I was just
no
go
problem.
over that.
And then for hops, we did CTZ, Middle Fruit, and those were the early ones. And then we did Goldings and Tettnang for the finishers. And yeah, those turned out great. Like the little bit of biscuit kind of comes through from the Victory, a little bit of the fruitiness from the Special B and the C120. And then that's, the Black Patent and the Pale Chocolate. I'm glad we used pale rather than the full chocolate, because that would have been a little bit too much, I think.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
So, yeah, I don't think I'll tweak anything. I think it's a good recipe and stick with it.
Yeah.
Barrel age. Of course, that's my answer to everything. Just fucking barrel age it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then you got to go beyond dark side sessionable.
Yeah, throw it in a cognac barrel with some vanilla and chipotle. We'll talk.
For any of you out there who aren't familiar with the term that we've probably used in several articles, the Dark Side Brew Crew sessionable just means it's basically anything under 9 or 10%.
Under 12 is what we agreed on.
Yeah, 12. There you go. 12. Yeah.
It keeps going up. Building this thing up.
Yeah, the benchmark was set with KBS, which is 11.7 at its minimum. So anything below that is technically sessionable. Granted,
Basically,
we don't
if
do
I
this when we go
meet
out,
Uncle
but
Jacobs in an
home.
No. The Jacobs is now a precious commodity since they don't distribute here anymore.
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah,
Damn
that's
you,
actually
Avery.
the reason I brewed my own behemoth is couldn't get it here, so just make my own.
Yeah.
Thanks for posting your recipe and information online, Avery.
Mhm.
Drinking from your Avery glass, no less.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine's my old local. Tap that.
Oh
from
yeah.
Cask
That
Fest.
was a great time at Cask Fest at Canteen.
Yeah, back when it was still a Latino, actually.
Oh right.
That's how old this glass is.
Sorry, everyone out there. You're gonna have to see me eating too, because pizza is life. And I just have a regular goblet because that's
No shame.
seemed fitting.
No shame.
Goblet's a
You did it.
goblet, man.
Whatever.
Yeah. So anyway, my garage is full. I no longer have anywhere to put more beer, so I keep going out every day and buying more beer, and I haven't drank it yet. And I'm like, oh man, I gotta sit down.
So you're doing
So you're saying
you're doing the
you're going
toilet paper
to,
thing, but with beer. And that's
I mean,
okay.
I did this before any of this happened over the fall. If you remember just how much I was brewing.
yes,
Yeah.
we remember how much you were brewing.
That
Franz,
was-
which one's this?
So I stopped brewing in November, and I brewed my first batch in March.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Okay, but how empty is the fridge right now? Probably not.
Not
very.
empty at all. There's still overflow, and yeah. Well, and then there's another batch that is conditioning as we speak. So,
Yep.
And then I've got like another 3 planned, of course.
Thank you,
Of
Southwest Creek and Grain, for staying open.
Yes. Thank
Without
you,
you,
Southwest
Franz,
Creek and Grain.
They're still open. Okay, that's.
Oh yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, curbside pickup. So call ahead. They'll get your order together and let you know when it's ready.
That's really.
Speaking of which, I need to grab some more.
Yeah, because unfortunately, if people
as-
don't know in New Mexico, you can't have them bring the beer to the curbside. That is against state law. You have to
Right.
actually go inside and get your beer, or what is considered on the property. So some places like Boxing Bear West downtown, you can actually walk up to that little window they have behind the bar, onto the patio and pick it up there. Same thing with the window at Marble downtown. Those places can work, but everywhere else you pretty much have to go into the building. But most breweries, like Cumbre now, has actually got these little X's on the floor to show where you should stand in line to be 6 feet apart. So.
Yeah, for any of you out there who happen to be out of state, our laws are maybe a little bit different than yours out there. So as Chris just outlined, like some of you in other states are able to still get your beer from your breweries around town and just basically do curbside pickup right now. So consider yourself a little bit more fortunate. We just, I guess, have to get out of our cars. So just throw a mask on, throw a
throw a mask on, throw a bandana on, bring hand sanitizer everywhere.
Yeah.
and just be really, really careful.
But the breweries are doing a super job right now of cleaning up out front, so
that they are.
Yeah, I mean they're really going the extra mile right now. So make sure to tip. Well.
Yeah.
I mean, if you
having visited a couple of the local breweries over the last week or so since everything came down as far as the shelter in place in our city here in Albuquerque, I mean they're definitely doing their part to try and keep people at least as far apart and just make sure and keep everything clean. So definitely keep going to the breweries and picking up packaged beer. Take your growlers to get sanitized and get a new one. Trade in.
Or if you can't make it out, buy a gift card from your favorite brewery and go back when we can go back. Yeah.
Just do
gift
what
cards,
you can.
Merchandise, do what you can.
Yeah. There's a lot of great people out there in the beer community, not just here in New Mexico, but I mean nationwide, who are, dealing with hard times. And I mean, I know it's a kind of a secondary thought on everyone's mind with everything going on, but once everything finally does start getting under control with the virus, I mean, life's got to get back to normal for these people some way. So helping these breweries any way we can to stay afloat, which is actually it's become a pretty prominent industry here in the state. So we want to do our part. So definitely encourage you all to do so if you can.
We've always said that, if people ask us, well, why do you guys do this if you're not really making money off of it? And I've always said, if the people in the beer industry here weren't such good people, we wouldn't.
Yep.
I mean, we'd just be like, we'll just step back and drink our beer. But they're good people, and they deserve our support. And my allergies are killing me, by the way, which makes people think that I'm
really surprised that I don't have a cat crawling on me right now, giving me headbutts. And
where is Parrot Cat?
He's just,
yeah, there he is.
he was asleep until I just said his name, so now he's like, "What's going on?" Viewers, Dr. Rorschach. He is a kitty and a parrot at the same time because he will sit on my shoulder as I walk around the house. So lovable creature, and he is the coolest.
Yes. Here's to all the cats and dogs who are currently enjoying, hopefully, their humans being home more.
Cheers to that.
They definitely have a lot more shit to push off the tables.
Yeah, watch where you put your workspace.
Yeah, if you were like myself or numerous other people have possibly been given orders to work from home, so I have, and my cat likes to lay on my keyboard occasionally. So
there you go.
whoops.
Got it. You got that.
Likes to keyboard occasionally.
Oh yeah.
And we're back.
Yes. The kitchen, and we're back.
You ever want to know the story behind "and we're back"? Ask us individually.
Yeah. I don't even remember how this came about, but anyway, I just remember instances of it showing up.
Became a thing because, just as Chris said, ask us individually.
Yep.
You can get each of our recollections of the fun. All right. Well, I think that just about sums it up.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So
Burly, delicious, drinkable lager, and cheers. Cheers to everyone. Hope you're as well and healthy and happy as you can possibly be, and our hearts go to you. Cheers. Cheers to everyone.
Cheers.